I'm thinking I'm gonna go to the easy side, and they put me on the east side, which is literally chaos. And I'm gonna get into that right now. So as soon as I go there, I remember a dude I knew. He's like, "Oh man, boy, you're fucked, dude. You're fucked, dude." He's like, "I hope you, ooh, boy, that's." And I'm like, and I'm thinking like, man, dude, like that was my mind then. You know, I didn't care. Like nobody could tell me anything, right? And that false bravado. So I remember we walked to the unit, and I'm looking, and there's no officers anywhere in sight. Their thing is down, so they can't even look in there. So I'm like, what the heck? And it's 2-man cells, and I'm thinking, oh, a dude can get beat to death. So these stories are true, what I'm hearing, and this is just jail. And so I get in there, and I remember I'm with another white guy, and he's like, I ain't going in this motherfucker. I'm checking in, and I'm thinking like, what a bitch, dude. And now I look back, I'm like, shit, he was right the whole time, dude. But obviously I was in a check-in, and I was ready for whatever came my way. And this is the first time I've ever been in a place where there's no assigned bunks or anything like that. So I'm walking with my stuff, and I'm looking in the cell, and they're like, not here, white boy. So I go down to the next cell, and the dude's like, not here, bro. And I go, here, unless you're gonna pay. Like, and so I'm like, holy fuck. So finally, this cool Mexican dude's like, man, you come in here, bro. So I come in there, and I put my stuff down, and he's like giving me the runaround. He's like, listen, dude, I know it's county jail, but this is serious here, bro. You got dudes fighting death penalty cases, dudes facing life prison. Like, this isn't anything to play with. They're robbing cells, you know. So he's showing me, and we were talking. This is over a course of like 3 or 4 hours, and he's showing me where the knives are at, and he's like, don't, if you're on any like pussy bullshit, any weak mind shit, coward acts, dude, we will you up, dude. You understand? I was like, I got you, bro. He's like, you bring anybody in here on that bullshit, we'll you up. And they're part of an organization, some like a Southern Mexican organization, whatever they are. You know, that's who they are. And so I'm seeing the chaos. It's just unreal. And one of the first nights I'm in there, they beat the shit out of this kid so bad. And the way they come and count, I just couldn't believe this, because I was used to like the structured system. Now it's like they come in, they're like, all right, you guys all here? All right, cool, boom. And they walk out, the officers, and they go back to doing. And they tuck the guy in. And it took like almost a day to realize he was in a coma. And it took him out. And it was just like, I was like, okay, this is the real deal. And I was like, let me try to see if I can get bonded out. I remember getting on the phone. Right. Yeah, so this is like the day after. I call my mom, and I say, hey. And she's like, hey, babe, how are you? You know, I was like, good, mom. I was like, so you think I can get bonded out? She's like, your bond's like 100,000. Like, what do you think? No. She's like, you need to stay in there and suffer the consequences. You're not getting out. Yeah. I said, all right, I understand, mom. And while I'm on the phone, a dude says to me, he goes, hey, let me get a 3-way, Billy Cracker. And a 3-way, if you know, people don't know, it's basically back in the day, you would have the other person that you're calling on the prison phone, jail phone, make a call for you. Right. And unless you know that person, that's very disrespectful. And cracker in Florida isn't like a bad thing to say. Yeah. But it is, you know what I mean? It is obviously racist, but it's not as bad as people think from other states. But the fact that he asked me for like a 3-way, didn't know me, and said that while I'm on the phone, it was automatic grounds, we have to fight. So my mind is still on the youth offender mindset, the juvenile prison mindset, where we go in the cell, we fight one-on-one, and we go about it. Like, you know, and that's how it is, you know. And or if it's other shit, it's always usually a one-on-one, or we make it happen, but it's always usually like controlled. So I walk into the cell, I was like, what's up? So I was like, all right, mom, I love you, bye. Click, hang up. I go, what's up, dude? And he's like, what's up? What's up, white boy? Let's go. So we go into the cell, right? And this was the first mistake I made, but obviously I learned after this one. And we get in there, and we're strapped up, put your shoes on, and we square off. Boom, 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 boom. We're fighting in there, and all you hear is squeaking of the feet, you know, boom, slapping of the face. And, you know, he's getting the better of me, but I'm landing. But, like, I'm trying to make a point that I'm not the one. I'm going to be here for a while. And all of a sudden, I feel like this hit in the back of my head. I don't know if it was a lock or a rock or whatever it could have been, but it was something that wasn't a fist. And I didn't get knocked out, but I was like my legs were weak, and I just saw the stars. And like 3 of them came in the room of his friends, and they just started boom, 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 jumping me, hitting me with whatever weapon they had. And I'm just like getting just completely jumped, and I'm swinging wild, boom, boom, boom. And I remember I grabbed one dude's head, and we fell back into the, we fell back like that. And like we're between this little wall and the toilet. And like the dude goes and he goes to football kick me, because I have his friend and my face is right here,
Right.
and his friend's here, and I'm like poking his eye, I'm biting him, I'm like literally like I'm like this is bad,
Fighting for your life.
yeah. Dude, like just straight adrenaline, and I remember like putting my finger in his ear and like just giving him baby, like I'm not letting him go. This is my own, all I got. And the dude goes like, get off my own, boom, and he kicks me, and I go to block it with this hand. And it ends up like, I didn't know at the time, but he completely dislocated, broke this whole entire like wrist and finger was hanging off like this. And I was like, and he kicks me again. They have boom, football kick, but I'm still holding on to the guy. And they just keep, they're hitting it. I'm still just kind of somehow the adrenaline. And they're like, yo, let's put his head in the toilet. And basically a thing they do in Florida, they call it flushing your soul down the toilet, is especially if they don't like, they do it to like, people that are like fighting back, like it's fucked up, but like they didn't like that I was doing this. That dude was embarrassed that I was like just getting him. All his friends were beating my ass, and he's like, put his head in the toilet and just kick it in. So they were gonna put my head in the metal toilet and just stomp me to death and flush it. They call it flushing the soul down the toilet. And I don't know, just the adrenaline, the rush or whatever. I just and I get up and I'm just kind of backing out of the cell, boom, boom, boom. So like it was just that, like you hear how like the moms lift up the buses or whatever.
Right.
It was that same type of thing. And I just never felt that much. Like the most dangerous person is someone that's in fear.
Right.
Not scared, but fear. And it was just a power. I never even knew I was this strong. And so I back out of that cell and I'm just fighting my way out. And like I'm not feeling anything yet. And dude that I was originally fighting, he's like coming towards me and we're squaring up again, and they're coming there too. And they go, one time. The officers are coming in to do the count. And I'm like, all right. So like that adrenaline dump comes, boom. I go in the cell. My roommate is the Mexican dude. He's cool. He's like, hey, you're a warrior. Mind my accent, dude. I'm not really good at accent, but he's like, hey, white boy, you're a warrior, dude. Right. Holy shit. And I ended up finding out later, but I had a broken orbital bone, completely my thumb's right here. It's all messed up. I'm bleeding everywhere, and it's all setting in now. Like I'm the adrenaline dump.
Right.
And he's like, "Yo, we got to hide you though." And when they flick the light, so you have about a minute or so to kind of get it. Some guy's mopping up the real quick, like, and everyone's going in the cell like nothing happened. And he's like, let me fix you up. And he's taking a sock and he's trying to sew this thing, but it's so gashed. And he's like, this thing ain't gonna work. And he's taking like a sock string with a needle, fucking probably almost, luckily I ain't get no diseases, right? And he's just trying to get through it and it's not working. And he's looking at me and he's like, just go under the covers, bro, and pretend you're sleeping. So I'm like, all right. So the officers come in there. He's like, all right, man, everybody good? Everybody here? And they're like, yeah, man, yeah. It's just crazy, right? And this
is a horrible story.
Yeah, it's a horror. It's a horror story.
Okay.
And anybody that's been there will contest. Like this, is how it is in gun club. It's very like the South Side isn't like this, but the East and West is just brutal in the 12th floor. So I get out off the bed, and he's like, hey man, you know you're a warrior. You know we respect you. He's like, but you know these motherfuckers. You know, it is what it is. He's like, he's telling me basically I should go to medical right now, check in basically. I said, that man, look at me. Do I look like I want to check in now, dude? I almost got my head flushed down the toilet, dude, you know? And he's like, all right, bro. So I get out and dude's like coming up to me and I was like, let's go back. Let's run it again. And he's like, nah, man, we're good, right? And he's like, bro, this went too far. He's like trying to, I said, no, that dude, let's run it. Come on. So everyone's standing there and he's like, all right, then let's do it. So we square up to run it again. And he's got all his partners with him. And, like they're kind of like we're getting closer and then like they kind of stop and I'm like what the fuck, you know? And he's like, nah, we're good, I'm straight. And like then I realized, because obviously my peripheral vision, everything I'm bleeding out my ear, everything, is that his group, the Mexican, his brothers and everything like that, the Southsiders, you know, they were standing behind me and they're like, nah, bro, you're gonna give the white boy a one-on-one. He's a warrior, he already showed it, he'll fight. And in my head initially I was thinking like, where were y'all at before, man? But it's politics, you know. They want to make sure, you know.
Yeah, I was just saying, but they didn't know you were.
They didn't know my charges. They didn't know anything about it, and they didn't know I would stand up, and they didn't want to lose face, you know. And they're standing there. They got knives in their hand. One dude's facing the death penalty, you know. And they're like, you know, so they basically fall back. And so he's like, bro, you're a warrior, bro. He's like, we respect you, dude. He's like, you'll never have. I mean, you'll get one-on-ones and this and that, but you proved it, bro. We got your back. Da da da. I'm the only white dude in here.
Right.
Period. You know, the other white dude was the one that left in a coma. And so like, you know, but I didn't really have any hate at that time. I just felt like I was doing time because in the juvenile and stuff, they don't push that ideology on you like they do in the adult system in prison. So I'm in there and about 4 or 5 days go by, and they're like, that white boy is crazy, bro. Like, I'm walking around, thumb is hanging off, and just, you know, and he's always trying to gash it up. They're using like string, and it's just getting worse. And I'm like fucked up, like, and you know, like after a car accident, you don't feel it, but like later on,
yeah.
So it's that thing, but except an ass whooping to the highest degree. And my thumb are in the cell, and I'm talking to my bunkie, and he's like, bro, you need to fucking get some help. So since my thumb was broken and dislocated and the bone was like coming a little bit out, it had staph infection on it and was turning like greenish.
Oh, man, you could lose your whole hand.
Yeah. And I'm leaking out of my eye, and I could go blind from my eye. Like like in fights, like that's why they stop it, because the can make you blind. And my ear is bleeding, and I'm fucked up. But I have this false ego, and I'm like, I ain't going nowhere, dude. He's like, dude, you're gonna lose your fucking hand, dude. You don't have nothing more to prove, bro. He's like, you just fucking went through hell, dude. And you I mean, come on, bro. Think about did you want to lose your fucking hand over this bullshit? I go, all right. So they come in.
I was gonna say you're trying to impress a bunch of guys that you will never see again, and don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah, and you're 100% right. And so then I think an officer came in, or somehow I talked to him, and he's like, I was like, I gotta go to medical. And he's like, what the fuck? I was like, yeah, I fell in the shower. And he's like, you know, I'm gonna keep it real though. I'm not a rat. And he's like, so he's like, huh? And I was like, yeah, man, I'm fucking detoxing. I fell in the shower. I had a seizure, you know. And he's like,
in your hand?
He's like, you've been here like a month now, almost, like, or however long. You're detoxing, like, it doesn't make sense, you know. And he's like, whatever. So they bring me down, and the craziest shit is like, they're like, so they got a chair. Let me rewind. So he's like, just tell me what happened, dude. Tell me what happened. Bro. It's all right, bro. Just tell us, dude. Let's get him the fuck out of there. And I go, I fell in the shower, bro. Come on, bro. I gotta live here, bro. Come on, man. Why are you even asking anymore? So he's like, all right. So they're like, just sit here for a minute. We'll get you some help. And they put you in it's like this black chair. And the more you move, the more they could wheel you. And it gets like this to the point of tight. And they're putting me in this with a broken hand, and I'm bleeding everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck? And it keeps tightening it up, and I can't move. And they're wheeling me around like, tell us. And they're showing pictures of each inmate. And I'm like, I can't see shit, dude. I failed. What are y'all doing? I need help. And finally, a corporal came in there, and they're like, what the fuck are you guys doing, man? Take this kid to medical, dude. So they go, and they took me to I went to outside medical. Yeah, I went to outside medical, and it was like the local hospital, because my thumb was the bone was out, and the stitches, they didn't have the type of care they needed. And I remember going there, and they were trying to snap my finger back into place with the bone. They finally get it back. They wrap it up, and I get the stitches, and I had a staph infection on the bone, bad. My knee, ribs broken, nose broken, just fucked up. I had not a bone in my ear, but something got inside my ear, and I had to put like the fluid out of it. It was a rough one, dude. And so they put me on the West Side wing, which is the medical. So I think I'm gonna do easy time now, all right? Like, I'm like, all right, I'll just heal up, be all right. Nope, that's Florida. They love this violence in the state system, at least. And I'm in there, and I'm taking a shit, and I already learned how to do everything, you know, shitting. Like, I have one, like, you have your short, like, you don't have both of your shorts on your ankles. You got one off in case you got to stand up. And this is an open bay. It's medical. So, like, you're really not expecting violence in there. And I'm taking a shit in the thing, and all of a sudden, dude walks up and punches me right on the shitter. And I'm having pretty much my first butt-naked fight. And we're fighting right here, rolling around on this dirty floor. And, you know, the guards monitor, or the officers monitor the medical wing a lot more than any other unit, because, you know, it's a medical wing, and people die or they have seizures, so they can get a lot of lawsuits for not doing it. So they came in real quick and broke it up, and it turned out it was one of the dudes that jumped me in that whole chaos, and he happened to just be in there. I don't know if they sent him there or whatever happened. So that happened, and we fought, and eventually I healed, and I got sent to another wing, and I fought maybe 3 or more times, probably, but the same dudes, the whole crew of them. And finally, it's my day to go to court and take my time. I had been here now a little bit over a year now, maybe 14, 15 months, and including the Broward with the Chomo and now to here. And